Good afternoon. Welcome to Midcap Radar. I'm Reema Tendulkar. With me is Sonal Bhutra, and these are the top stories. The market remains listless amid several uncertainty. Utilities are a big drag, even as metals and financials eke out gains.
Dilip Bilkon surges after being declared as the lowest bidder by NHAI for a hybrid annuity project in Andhra Pradesh, while PNC Infra also jumps after bagging a new hybrid annuity highway project of Morth worth 819 crores.
All Cargo and KWE sign a share purchase agreement for an acquisition of a 30% stake in Gati Kinetsu Express Private Limited for a sum of 406 crore rupees.
Kalyan Jewellers shares fall over 8% on March 28, that is today, after a block of 2.7% stake in the company changed hands. Sources say Warburg Pincus Heidel Investments is the likely seller. All right, those are the top headlines that we are tracking for you on Midcap Radar. For the markets, continues to see moves towards the lower end right now. We are off 107 points from the day's high, and this is ahead of the expiry that we have tomorrow because Thursday is a holiday. So the monthly options expiry, and that is something which we'll be tracking because before that, we'll see a lot of volatility in the markets itself. Market has taken a turn for the worse yet again, and we have the mid-cap side of things, which too are not looking so good. So the mid-cap index is underperforming with a cut of 154 points, with every 685 advancing stocks seeing cuts in around 2200 stocks. So yes, a fall across the board, barring Bank Nifty, that too is absolutely flat with some positive bias. So it'll be important to track all these cues, largely domestic facing.
Indeed. So the low today was 16,930. So we're still holding above the intraday low, but just by about 20 odd points. And the low today of 16,930 is higher than the low that we had yesterday, 1,600 and 16,918. So just some levels that you should keep on your radar. Shrikant Chauhan, EVP of Kotak Securities, is now with us on the show. Shrikant, what have you made of the day so far? The underperformance of the broader markets yet again. What is it telling you?
Yeah. Good afternoon, Rima. See, like the markets are still in the range. It is not able to trade above the levels of 17,100, which is certainly creating some more pressure on the market. And on the downside, 16,800, 850 is acting as very good support for the market. So while looking at the overall news flow and the way the Nifty is shaping up, I think if there is any correction below the levels of 16,900, then there we should be a contra buyer in the market. I'm expecting some rebound in the near term. I think the downside is nearly 100 points, but on the high side, again, we can expect 200 to 300 points. So number of stocks have fallen to their extreme levels. Most of them are oversold, and we can expect one tactical bounce back in the near term.
Okay, tactical bounce back is what you're expecting. But in a market like this, what would the individual trading ideas be for you?
Yeah, I think, see, Sonal, if we go through with the mid-cap 50 index, then it is trading below the important support levels. And maybe that's the reason we are seeing some sell-off in mid-cap companies. Like yesterday, we saw sell-off in IRCTC, and today also we are seeing some furthermore weakness in mid-cap companies. But there are few companies which have already fallen to their important levels and they are rebounding, or either they are available at their important supports, like Federal Bank, which is currently trading at 124, 125. I think the downside is limited. If we see furthermore decline, then we should be buying. We are expecting stock to trade within the range of 120 and 140. So it's a great risk-reward ratio for positional investors to invest at current levels. And also we like ICICI Prudential, which is currently at 420 but fallen to its extreme levels. Now currently it is trading above the 20-day simple moving average. So from here, technically, we can see the levels of at least 450, 460. But if we see the overall retracement, then the stock may even cross the levels of 500. So again, here also the risk-reward ratio is quite favorable for investors to invest.
Thank you very much for that. Let's talk about the mid-caps. This is our segment, Mid-Cap Movers. Vivek is here with us on the big wall. Vivek.
Well, thank you so much for that. You know, it's one particular day where we're continuing to see an underperformance as far as the broader end of the markets are concerned. Very few stocks actually trading with a positive bias. In fact, very few volumes also in terms of the positive bias. Some of the names that are doing well, some logistics names, Navkar Corp doing quite well. Kirloskar today, doing reasonably well on good volumes. Imami, after a slight period of underperformance today has continued to move higher. And Manappuram Finance, today up on strong volumes as well. On the other hand, a lot of large, mid-cap names that are quite liquid are at a fresh 52-week low in today's trading session. So names like LIC, Tata Power, Wipro, in fact, even names like Bandhan Bank, we're also seeing names like Loris Labs, also, BBTC, all of these names too, Bombay Mova, are trading at a fresh 52-week low in today's trading session. Now, moving on, some of the other stocks that are losing and losing with large volumes as well in today's trading session. Vijaya Diagnostics, this stock was an outperformer, but giving up most of its gains in recent times. Dish TV, Kolte Patil, Pokarna and Nykaa, this particular stock continues to see quite a bit of selling pressure for the last 3 to 4 trading sessions at a stretch.
Yes, that's a long list of losers today, right? Thank you so much, Vivek, for joining us. So a couple of those stocks that continue to remain in focus. For now, we'll slip into a break. We'll connect with Kavinder Singh, who's the MD and CEO of Mahindra Holidays and Resorts, to discuss about the demand trends, business outlook and occupancy levels as well. Stay tuned for that.
हम जैसे ही दिखते हैं वो हम में से ही आते हैं, चुपचाप बिना आवाज किए जो अपना फर्ज निभाते हैं, उम्मीदों की पर्ची पर सपनों को लिखने वाले लोग, देश चलाते हैं सारा ये आम से दिखने वाले लोग। आइए करते हैं देश चलाने वाले इन्हीं राइजिंग हीरोज का सम्मान। न्यूज़ 18 राइजिंग इंडिया, रियल हीरोज।
Presented by Poonawalla FinCorp Limited, enabling dreams.
Welcome back. Still tuned into Midcap Radar on CNBC-TV18. As promised, let's get in the management of Mahindra Holidays. Of course, we are talking about upcoming summer vacations and a lot of public holidays in April. To generally discuss the demand, occupancy levels, we are now joined by Kavinder Singh, who's the MD and CEO of Mahindra Holidays. Mr. Singh, good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us. Well, I can say it from Dreema and myself that we are very excited about the upcoming long weekend, so to say. But we'll speak about the outlook going forward. Can you give us a sense of how Q4 has been in terms of occupancies? Was it better than Q3? And in terms of bookings, is it looking like Q1 of FY24 will see even better numbers?
Yeah, I think the summer season is coming and there is a momentum that we are noticing. And we closed Q3 with 85% occupancies. And this is on the back of about 1,000 room additions that we did in about last 2 years during the pandemic. But having said that, the momentum in the Q4 continues. Typically, Q4 is not a very high occupancy quarter, but we are likely to close this quarter with about 85% occupancy, which we have never seen before. And as far as the bookings are concerned into the Q1, we have very robust booking position into April, May, and June. And this is, the momentum for holidaying has now continued almost for now 2 quarters in a row, because Q2 is typically not a very seasonal quarter. But Q3, Q4 at 85%, and Q1 of FY24 looking even better.
Mr. Singh, any numbers of the advanced bookings so far for April, May, June?
So typically April, May, June advanced bookings that we are seeing on our books are above 85%. And as you know, nearer the time, they become even better.
Okay. So minimum 85%, you could even inch towards 90, you think?
Oh, yes. It's quite a possibility.
It's possible.
Okay. So that's about the India business. Tell us more about HCRO, because you've been talking about it on being its way towards turnaround. Is it something that you've seen in Q4? Where are you in terms of this number here?
Yeah, so on Finland business, I can very comfortably say that the turnaround has started, and Q4 is looking extremely good because one, it's a seasonal quarter. Second, despite the fact that the Russia-Ukraine war is still going on, inflation is high, people are continuing to holiday, both domestic as well as international holidayers into the Lapland area of Finland, as well as Sweden, even Canaries, every area, these three areas, geographical areas, we are seeing very good international travelers also, like Britishers, Germans, Dutch, they're all there, as well as local Finnish travel is also booming. So Q4 is a good quarter from all points of view. And this is something that has to be seen in the backdrop of a war, which is going on in Europe. Yet people are, holidaying, and the winter season is looking better than ever before.
So it has already seen a turnaround in Q4, you're saying, the Finland business?
Yes, indeed. Indeed.
Okay.
So EBIT positive for Europe business in Q4 FY23?
Yes.
Okay. And what could that profitability improve to in the subsequent quarters? Do you have any forecast in mind?
So if you look at the Holiday Club subsidiary, they lost out 2 years in pandemic, and the Russia war, which went on this year, has affected their performance till Q3, except Q2, which was a good quarter. Q4 will be a good quarter. So even if you look at in the last year, FY22, it was an EBITDA break-even quarter. And this year, we expect it to be obviously much better EBITDA numbers that you will see. And if I were to look at FY24, we are aiming to be much higher than what we would end up doing in FY23. War or no war, we are expecting FY24 to be much better than FY23 as well.
Okay. So can you give us a sense of what is your current unearned revenue? Because you did see membership revenue growing by 20% in Q3 at that 188 crore mark. What is the number in terms of unearned revenue?
So the good news is that, we had shared this time as the Q3 ended that we have actually delivered 145 crores PBT, which is the 9 months quarter, basically 3 quarters number of 145 crores. But if you look at the deferred profit, which is sitting on our books in the balance sheet area, where the deferred revenue and deferred costs are there, we had another 152 crores. So if you really add two of them, then you're talking of a 297 crore profit, which includes 152 crores of deferred profit, which is sitting on our books. And that's the story till 9 months. And wait till the quarter ends and you will see obviously even better numbers.
What has been the run rate on member additions so far in Q4?
So member additions, typically we do not give guidance, but I can confirm this to you that we are doing better than ever in Q4 that we are currently running.
Okay, better than ever. You had done 9 months edition at 12,380. Last year, 12,764. So will you be able to cross the last year's mark? Of course, it looks like that would be the case. But what is the number? Okay, so
even at a quarter run rate level, we are doing better than ever. That's what I meant.
Okay.
So 5,000 could be a probable number for Q4 in terms of member addition?
As I said, we don't give out the numbers in public domain because it's a important number that keeps because we still haven't finished the month. As you know, the month is still going on. So it's good to sort of wait for it when the board meeting happens on 25th April, and I'll be there again to share with you the numbers.
Yeah.
But it's a good number considering Q4, and it is doing very well. Right now, the member additions are brisk.
Okay, take your point, Mr. Singh. So, of course, we'll touch base with you once again when you report those quarterly numbers. It was good speaking with you. Thank you so much for joining us on CNBC-TV18. All right, that's the word coming in from Mahindra Holidays. Strong occupancies in Q4, and they expect FY24 to be much better than FY23. We'll do one thing. We'll slip into a short break. Up next, we'll focus on Adani Group stocks. They are trading under pressure today. We'll get you all the details after this short break.
Welcome back. Let's shift our attention now to the Adani Group stocks. The stocks are down anywhere in a range of 2 to 7%. The group as a whole has erased nearly 50,000 crore of market capitalization in today's session so far. CNBC-TV18 has accessed a report by the Ken that the Adani Group has not filed any update on the recent release of pledged shares. Vivek is here with the details of that story. Vivek.
Well, thank you for that. So the Adani Group stocks are in focus and are under pressure in today's trading session. Now, it's the Ken that has reported, and, it's a report which actually states that there is a mismatch in terms of, what the company has claimed or what the group has claimed in terms of reduction of, promoter back pledging versus, what has actually happened in terms of intimation to the stock exchanges. So, what the Ken is reporting is that no regulatory filings are actually indicative of the fact that there has been a reduction in the pledged shares post the company's press releases, various press releases that the company has made February 6th onwards. So now the disclosure to the stock exchanges should have been made by the lenders within 2 working days and should have been made by the promoters within 7 working days, and this hasn't been done. Now, lack of disclosures, according to the Ken, indicates that the debt has not been fully repaid as per what the group is actually claiming. Now, there's an Adani Group statement of February 6th that the Ken has accessed, and what they're saying is that the promoters said that they would be repaying $1,114 million ahead of maturity, and which should have led to a release of pledges in the following companies, which include Adani Ports, Adani Green, as well as Adani Transmission. Now, the Ken says that the banks have only released the pledged shares in the case of Adani Ports and not has released in any of the other group companies. Now, the group statement on March 11th gives a further update on further prepayment of debts. The group, according to the press release, say that they have prepaid almost $902 million of share-back financing, which should have led to a release of pledged shares in Adani Ports, Adani Enterprises, Adani Green and Adani Transmission. The Ken says that, after going ahead and seeing the various disclosures, that none of the pledged shares pertaining to this payment has actually been released by the banks. Further, on March 12th, there was a group statement which stated that they have gone ahead and completed full prepayment of margin-linked share-back financing aggregated to almost $2.15 billion. However, the Ken says that none of the group's promoters' pledged shares have actually reduced, barring Adani Ports, where there has been a reduction. Now, we also reached out to the Adani Group, and we are still awaiting a response from them pertaining to this particular story.
Of course, Vivek, we'll come back to you as and when you get that response. So, important story there on all the Adani Group stocks are under pressure today on the back of this copy by the Ken. But Vivek, it's a long and a busy day for you. We are also tracking some stocks in our Midcap Spotlight segment, all the stocks on the back of the order wins.
Well, that's right. We're actually seeing quite a bit of order wins coming in for the infra space. So first up, PNC Infra. This particular company emerged as the lowest bidder for a 4-lane highway in Uttar Pradesh. This particular project is going to be done via the hybrid annuity basis. The bid project cost that the group actually gave was close to 819 crore. Dilip Bilcon, this particular company too, emerging as the lowest bidder for a 6-lane highway in Andhra Pradesh, again on a hybrid annuity basis, and the project cost of close to 780 crores. Now, both of these companies will be required to do or complete the project within 24 months, and that'll be interesting to track whether they can go ahead and get any milestone-based payments as well. Lastly, transformers and rectifiers, it's got an order worth almost 184 crore from a central utility body. Order book now stands at little over 1,550 crore. Some positive news, and all of these stocks are managing to outperform in an otherwise weak market.
Thank you very much for that. By the way, the Nifty is now gravitating to the low point of the day. It's 16,935. 50 points lower on the Nifty, with the Sensex down close to about 100 points. Look at that leg down in the market in the last 5 minutes, as Vivek was just talking, and it's names like TCS. Pull up that intraday chart of TCS and you would see that TCS is now on the verge of breaking into the red from the day's high. TCS has slipped nearly about 1%. So that's a stock where you are seeing a bit of a fall. Infosys is at the low point of the day. Hero MotoCorp, HDFC Life too, struggling in trade. Bajaj Finserv at that. To the list of stocks which are showing some nervousness. Wrap up on Midcap Radar. On that note, Mutual Fund Corner on the other side.